Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you something. What is it that makes a woman truly beautiful? Is it the way she walks? The way she looks? Or the attention she gets when she enters a room? No, that's not it. That's just the surface level idea the world wants you to accept. Real beauty goes much deeper. It's strong. It lasts. It doesn't fade with time. Because when a woman is truly beautiful, it's because she holds something that can't be bought, copied, or stolen. It's in her quiet strength, her calm spirit, and the way she stands firm even when life tries to push her down. If you really want to understand what makes a woman beautiful, not in a shallow or worldly way, but in a deep, lasting, and meaningful way, then listen closely, because this is where true power lies. Real beauty isn't about what you wear, how you style your hair, or how many people stare at you when you walk by. Real beauty is something that comes from deep within. It's not something you can hold in your hands or find in a store. It's not something you can fake. It shines from the inside. It shows in how a woman carries herself, how she stands strong in tough moments, and how she remains confident even when no one is cheering for her. A woman who walks with faith has a kind of beauty that nothing can take away. It's a beauty that doesn't depend on looks or compliments. It's a presence that draws people close. Not because of what they see, but because of what they feel when she's around. She brings peace. She shows a kind of confidence that doesn't come from money, success, or others' opinions. It comes from something much deeper. She doesn't fall apart under pressure because she knows she's never alone. She doesn't live in fear of the future because she believes that everything she needs will come to her in time. While the world is full of worry and confusion, she moves with purpose. She walks with direction. She believes with all her heart. And that kind of belief, that's where the real strength is. But let's be honest, life will test her. There will be times when she feels like everything is falling apart. Moments when nothing seems steady. But what sets her apart is this: she doesn't let fear take over. She doesn't let doubt stop her. She keeps going. She keeps believing. She keeps standing tall, even when everything inside her says to quit. This strength doesn't come from outside things. It doesn't come from a relationship or a paycheck. It comes from within. And when a woman finds that kind of inner strength, when she has that kind of steady faith, she becomes powerful in the most beautiful way. People around her will wonder how she stays calm when things are falling apart, how she remains kind when others are unkind, how she keeps moving forward when others give up. It's because she doesn't let outside problems control her. She knows that trouble is temporary, but who she is, who she was created to be, never changes. She doesn't chase after things that don't matter. She doesn't try to impress anyone. She doesn't rely on a world that changes its rules every day. She knows her worth. And that's what makes her unstoppable. But don't get it confused. Faith doesn't mean life will be easy. It doesn't mean she won't face heartbreak, disappointment, or betrayal. She will. But she won't let those things break her. She won't let pain make her bitter. She won't let loss make her forget who she is. Instead, she learns from it. She grows through it. She adjusts when needed. And through it all, she holds tightly to her faith, the belief that she is being guided, protected, and prepared for something greater. And that belief, more than anything, makes her shine. The world wants to convince women that beauty is about being perfect, about flawless skin, the perfect shape, the dream life. But none of that lasts. None of it fills the soul. Because real beauty is not about perfection. It's about truth. It's about knowing yourself, standing in that truth, and not allowing anyone else to shake your foundation. A woman of faith doesn't lower her standards to make others feel comfortable. She doesn't stay silent to keep the peace. She doesn't shrink herself for those who can't handle her strength. She stands with courage. She walks boldly. And she carries herself with a grace that can't be taught. It can only be earned. It's earned through struggles, through lessons, and through holding on to something bigger than herself. What's even more powerful is that when a woman lives this way, she gives others the courage to do the same. She becomes a light for those who are lost, a strength for those who feel weak. She leads not by control, but by living as an example. Her life speaks for her. Her presence reminds others that it is possible to live with faith, to stand strong, and to walk in truth. And if you're asking yourself right now, do I have that kind of strength? The answer is yes. Yes, you do. It's always been inside you. The only question now is, are you ready to let it lead you? Wisdom is one of the most powerful things a woman can carry. And it's not just about being smart. It's about understanding what lies beneath the surface. It's about knowing the weight of words. It's knowing when to speak and when to stay silent. A woman who speaks with wisdom carries great influence. She doesn't waste her breath on gossip, on complaints, or on meaningless conversations. When she speaks, people pay attention. Her words are thoughtful. Her advice is not rushed. It's based on what she's lived, on what she's learned. She understands that words can build or destroy, bring comfort or cause pain, so she chooses her words with care. She doesn't speak just to be heard. She speaks when it matters. And wisdom isn't about being the loudest. It's about saying the right thing at the right time. People seek her advice because they trust her. They feel safe with her. They sense that her wisdom is real because it's come through experience. She's faced challenges. She's weathered storms, and she's come out stronger. That's why people know they can count on her. She doesn't react to everything with emotion. She takes her time. She watches. She thinks. And when she does respond, she does so with clarity, peace, and purpose. But wisdom isn't only about speaking. It's about silence, too. A wise woman knows that not every battle is worth fighting. Not every insult deserves a reply. Sometimes the best response is no response at all. She doesn't waste time trying to explain herself to people who have already decided not to understand her. She doesn't get caught up in pointless arguments. She knows her peace is too valuable. She knows her energy is meant for greater things. That's what sets her apart. While others are quick to argue, to lash out, to always defend themselves, she stays calm. Not because she's weak, but because she's strong enough to stay in control. She understands that silence can carry just as much power as speech, and she uses both with wisdom. But her wisdom goes even further. It's seen in how she listens. A wise woman doesn't just hear. She listens to understand. She listens not only to words, but to the feelings behind them. She notices the things left unsaid. And that's why her advice stays with people. It touches the heart. It speaks to the soul. She also knows that being wise doesn't mean knowing everything. It means asking the right questions. She stays open to learning. She is always growing, always looking at life from new points of view. That's her strength. She doesn't walk around thinking she knows it all. She remains a student of life, always ready to learn more. Her wisdom is more than just talk. It shows in how she lives. She doesn't just say the right things. She lives them. Her life proves her beliefs. Her kindness, her actions, the way she deals with hard times, those are the real signs of her wisdom. And because of that, people trust her. They look up to her, not because she demands respect, but because she earns it. She's steady. She's reliable. And that's what makes her unforgettable. But don't forget, wisdom doesn't come easily. It isn't something you're born with. It's shaped over time. It comes through trials, through hard choices, through learning lessons the painful way. A woman with wisdom is someone who has seen both light and darkness, who has made hard decisions and lived with the results. She's been tested, and those tests gave her something solid that no one can take from her. That's why wisdom can't be faked. You either have it through experience or you don't. And the most beautiful kind of wisdom comes from pain, from growth, from becoming stronger through the things that tried to break you. If you want to be that kind of woman, you have to be willing to learn. You must be open to growth. You have to be willing to look within, to reflect, to ask yourself the hard questions. You must listen more than you speak. Be willing to see beyond the surface. And most importantly, let life shape you. Take every struggle, every setback, every lesson, and turn it into something meaningful. Because that's how real wisdom is born. That's what makes a woman powerful. That's what makes her unforgettable. And finally, never forget, a woman with a kind and gentle heart holds a strength that the world often overlooks. In a world that praises loud voices and pushy ambition, kindness is sometimes seen as weakness. But the truth is, a kind woman is anything but weak. Her strength is not in being forceful, but in how she lives, with patience, grace, and a spirit that lifts others rather than tearing them down. She knows that real power isn't about control. It's about the ability to touch lives with love, truth, and sincerity. When she enters a room, there's something in her presence that brings a sense of calm. She doesn't need to demand attention. Her energy does that for her. People feel at ease when she's near. They feel listened to, understood, and seen. But don't confuse her kindness with being unaware. A kind woman sees the world as it really is. She's not blind to the wrong, the selfishness, or the coldness around her. She just chooses not to let any of it change who she is. That's real power, to stay gentle in a world that keeps trying to make you hard, to keep loving when you have plenty of reasons not to. Her kindness isn't based on what others do. She doesn't give it only to those who treat her well. She gives because it's who she is. She understands that how people treat her is a reflection of them, not of her. So she doesn't let their bitterness shape her nature. That's why she stands out. In a time where people get angry fast, where judgment comes easily, and tearing others down seems normal, she stays calm. She chooses a higher path. That doesn't mean she lets herself be taken advantage of. A kind woman is not someone to walk over. She knows the line between being kind and pleasing everyone. She doesn't give everything to those who only want to take. She doesn't let herself be used, controlled, or drained. She knows her value, and because of that, she knows when it's time to walk away. Her strength lies in her ability to love others without losing who she is. She creates boundaries. She understands how to say no and doesn't carry guilt for it. That's because she knows real kindness doesn't mean forgetting yourself. It means finding balance. She gives to others, but she also takes care of her own well-being. She knows how to give, but she also knows how to receive. People are drawn to her because she is real. She doesn't wear a fake smile. She's not trying to be perfect. Her kindness isn't an act. It's sincere, and that's rare. She lifts people up, not because she wants something in return, but because she truly believes there's goodness in others. She chooses to see the light in people, even when everything around her says not to. But she's not easily tricked. She knows when someone is using her good heart. And when that happens, she doesn't get revenge. She doesn't waste her time on anger. She just quietly steps away. She walks off with her head high because she knows that keeping her peace is more valuable than proving anything. A woman with a kind and gentle spirit changes every place she walks into. She brings warmth to cold rooms and light into dark spaces. People remember her not because she was loud or pushed for attention, but because she made them feel something deep. She made them feel valued, recognized, and appreciated. And that kind of effect is more powerful than any title, wealth. Her strength also lives in her patience. She understands that not everything needs a quick reaction. She knows how to take a step back, breathe, and answer with thought instead of emotion. That's why people respect her. She's not controlled by her feelings. She has learned how to control them. She doesn't let anger steer her choices. She doesn't allow pain to make her bitter. She picks grace every time. That's why she doesn't just inspire through her words, but through her actions, through how she walks, how she loves, and how she stays strong in what she believes. She doesn't change herself just to fit in. She holds on to her true self, and that's why her light shines. Her kindness isn't just something she feels. It's something she chooses. Every single day she wakes up and decides to stay kind in a harsh world. She picks love when it would be easier to turn cold. She forgives even when it would feel better to stay angry. That daily choice is what makes her rare. That choice is what makes her powerful. And the most amazing thing about a kind woman, she leaves a mark that lasts long after she's gone. People remember how she made them feel. They hold on to the warmth of her presence, the way she made them believe in goodness again. Because real kindness, true gentleness, it's unforgettable. It's a force that changes everything it touches. A woman with wisdom doesn't speak just to fill silence. She speaks when her words can make a difference. She knows the power of what she says, the weight words carry, and the impact they can bring. In a world where people talk just to talk, where meaning often gets lost in noise, she is careful with what she says. She stays away from gossip, avoids pointless talk, and doesn't speak out of anger. She knows silence can be as strong as speech. She listens more than she talks because she knows that wisdom is found in paying attention, in thinking deeply, and in choosing when and how to respond. Her voice may not be the loudest, but when she speaks, people pause. Not because she demands the spotlight, but because her words carry wisdom and meaning. She doesn't feel the need to prove she's smart. She doesn't brag about what she knows. Her wisdom shows in how she lives, in how she handles things with care, and how she stays calm even when everything around her is falling apart. She knows wisdom isn't just about knowing facts. It's about understanding people, understanding life, and recognizing the right time to move or wait. She's learned that not everything needs a reply, not every battle needs to be fought. And sometimes the biggest strength is holding back. She's not quick to react. She doesn't let her emotions take control. She stops, looks at the situation, thinks, and then chooses her next move. That's what makes her different. A wise woman doesn't talk just to fill the space. She knows that words can bring healing or hurt. They can lift or tear down. So she chooses her words carefully. She speaks to encourage, to guide, to correct with love, and to help others understand. She never uses her voice to destroy others because she knows real strength lies in lifting people up. But don't take her gentleness as weakness. A wise woman stands firm. She won't let others control her. She's not fooled by sweet words or empty promises. She can see through lies because she has trained herself to look deeper. She hears what's not being said, notices the things others miss, and listens to her instincts. She is patient. She knows wisdom doesn't come overnight. It's built through experience, through mistakes, and through lessons that stick. She doesn't rush to make choices. She waits. She prays. She thinks. She looks for direction. She knows acting too fast can bring regret, so she moves only when she feels certain. Her wisdom shows in how she faces tough times. She doesn't panic when things fall apart. She stays grounded, knowing that storms don't last forever. She believes what's meant for her will come at the right time, and because of that, she doesn't force anything. She trusts the process. She doesn't chase drama. She doesn't argue just to prove she's right. She knows that some people just want to get a reaction, to test her patience, to pull her into their negativity. But she won't go there. She steps away, not out of fear, but because she's wise. She protects her peace because she knows it's worth more than winning an argument. A wise woman chooses her circle carefully. She surrounds herself with people who lift her up, who push her to grow, who challenge her to rise higher. She won't settle for draining relationships or empty friendships. She knows who she allows close affects her path, so she guards her space with wisdom. She doesn't crave approval. She's not pulled in by trends or popularity. She stands firm in what she believes, even if it means walking alone. She knows wisdom often requires stillness, deep thought, and honesty with oneself. Her presence lights up the people around her. She gives advice from understanding, not judgment. She corrects with kindness, not harshness. She leads not just with words, but by the way she lives. People trust her because she's real. When she speaks, they know it comes from truth and honor. She doesn't claim to be perfect. A wise woman owns her flaws. She learns from her wrongs. She keeps growing. She doesn't stay stuck in regret or let failure shape her forever. She turns every failure into a lesson, every hardship into a building block for something better. She is sure of herself, not because she has every answer, but because she believes she will find her way. She doesn't fear what she doesn't know. She stays calm when plans change. She keeps going, even when things get hard. She knows wisdom isn't about knowing it all. It's about staying open to keep learning, changing, and moving forward. A wise woman's legacy is not in the things she owns or the title she carries. It's in the lives she touches, the wisdom she gives, the love she shares, and the courage she leaves behind. People don't remember her for being the loudest. They remember her because her wisdom made a difference. Because when a wise woman speaks, her words live on even when she's no longer in the room. A woman of strength and grace does not let the world decide her worth. She walks with a deep confidence, not because life has been easy, but because she's chosen to rise through every struggle, every delay, every doubt. She isn't shaken by others' opinions. She doesn't need approval from those who don't see her value. She knows who she is, and that gives her peace. Her strength is more than physical. It's the kind of strength that comes from the heart, from endurance, from knowing that no matter how tough life gets, she will not fall. She has faced challenges that could have broken many, yet she stands not because she has never been hurt, but because she knows real strength is shown in the ability to keep going. She carries herself with honor. She doesn't lower her standards. She doesn't trade her values for quick acceptance. She won't let anyone mistreat her, take advantage of her, or pull her away from who she is. She understands love doesn't mean losing yourself to keep someone else. She won't settle for less than what she's worthy of. She won't beg for attention. She doesn't chase people who don't respect her. She doesn't try to prove her value. She already knows she is enough. Her dignity shows in how she treats herself and how she treats others. She doesn't bring people down to feel better about herself. She doesn't get involved in pointless arguments, doesn't welcome unnecessary drama, and never allows negativity to take over her life. Even in hard times, she carries herself with grace because she understands that real strength comes from staying in control. She doesn't let anger or pride lead her reactions. Instead, she picks her battles with care, speaks only when it matters, and walks away when that's the wisest choice. She knows that dignity isn't about being proud, it's about having respect for herself. She sets healthy limits, not because she's distant or unkind, but because she values her peace of mind, her time, and her emotional energy. She doesn't let people take her kindness for granted, doesn't tolerate disrespect, and doesn't keep giving chances to those who have already proven they don't deserve them. A woman of true strength and dignity doesn't allow pain to make her bitter. She's felt hurt, betrayal, and disappointment, but she doesn't let those things harden her heart. She keeps on loving, keeps on giving, and continues to believe in goodness. Not because she's unaware of reality, but because she refuses to let the pain decide who she becomes. She knows that holding on to anger only holds her back, so she chooses to forgive, not for the sake of others, but for her own peace. She understands that real healing comes from letting go, choosing to move ahead, and not allowing the past to trap her. She doesn't go around complaining about what she's been through. She doesn't beg for sympathy or wait for anyone to come and rescue her. She stands strong, faces life bravely, and keeps pressing forward no matter what. She knows that strength is built during the toughest times, that real growth happens during struggles, and that every setback is preparing her for something better. She doesn't measure her worth by money, fame, or how much she has. Her value isn't in the number of people who admire her or how loud the applause is. She knows real success lies in how she makes others feel, how much love she shares, and the impact she leaves behind. She doesn't chase the spotlight or crave attention. Her satisfaction comes from living with meaning. She doesn't pretend to be flawless. She has her flaws, her doubts, and makes mistakes, but she never lets those things define her. She learns, adapts, and keeps moving forward. She knows failure doesn't mean weakness. It's part of the process. Her strength may be quiet, but it's solid. It's not about overpowering others or proving anything. It's simply part of who she is. That inner strength, combined with her dignity, makes her someone no one can ignore. A woman with a warm and gentle heart carries a kind of light that no amount of darkness in the world can put out. Her kindness isn't something she puts on for show. It's a part of her daily life. Her heart remains open, not because life has always treated her well, but because she knows that the real strength lies in loving even after pain, giving without expecting anything back, and showing grace when others fall short. She isn't kind because she's weak. She's kind because she's strong enough to rise above hate. Life may have given her reasons to turn cold, to shut herself off from people, but she doesn't allow it. She chooses love over hate, understanding over judgment, and forgiveness over holding grudges. She knows that people make mistakes, and that sometimes those who act out in pain are the ones who need love the most. Her kindness isn't only shown to those who treat her well. She offers grace even to those who don't seem to deserve it. Not because she lets people walk over her, but because she refuses to carry the weight of hate in her heart. She knows that anger and bitterness are heavy and will only slow her down. She chooses to let go, not because she forgets, but because her peace matters more than revenge. She doesn't try to win people over with grand actions. Her kindness lives in the quiet things. A comforting word to someone who's struggling, helping when nobody's watching, and giving a small encouragement that could turn someone's day around. She listens with intention. She doesn't just wait for her turn to speak. She truly hears people. She sees through the masks people wear and notices pain even when it's hidden. She gives not out of duty, but because she can't imagine living without love in her actions. Her empathy isn't a flaw, it's her power. It helps her connect deeply with others, see what others might miss, and offer genuine understanding. She doesn't just feel sorry for people. She walks alongside them in their struggle. She steps into their shoes, feels what they feel, and does what she can to ease their pain. She knows that sometimes the greatest gift is simply being there, letting someone know they are not alone. But her kindness should never be mistaken for ignorance. She knows the difference between helping and being used. She gives with her heart, but doesn't allow herself to be taken advantage of. She forgives, but doesn't excuse repeated disrespect. She offers help, but she doesn't enable bad behavior. She understands that loving others doesn't mean forgetting to care for herself. Being kind to everyone doesn't mean letting everyone take from her. She builds healthy boundaries, not to push people away, but to protect the goodness inside her. Her heart is her most precious gift, and she guards it with wisdom. She is selective about who she allows into her space. She's careful with the energy she surrounds herself with. She knows that not everyone deserves a place close to her heart. Some people won't appreciate her. Others will try to take from her without giving anything in return. But that doesn't make her close off. She doesn't let those people change her nature. Her kindness is not based on who they are. It's based on who she chooses to be. She isn't looking for rewards or praise. She does the right thing even when no one is watching. Her kindness doesn't need an audience. She doesn't need recognition for her goodness to matter. She knows that the true reward of a kind heart is peace, joy, and the positive change it brings to the world. There is something rare and beautiful about a woman who still chooses kindness in a world that often pushes selfishness. She doesn't chase revenge, she looks for healing. She doesn't pull others down, she lifts them up. She doesn't cling to bitterness, she lets it go. And by doing that, she becomes a light that shines in the darkest places. Her presence comforts those around her. She reminds others that true beauty comes from within. Her kindness isn't an act. It's the truth of who she is. That's what makes her extraordinary. If you're searching for beauty based on what the world says, if you're going by appearances, trends, or surface-level charm, you're looking in the wrong place. Looks fade. Styles come and go. But a woman with these qualities, she shines forever. And if you're reading this right now, wondering if you have this inside you, know this you do. It has always been there. Now it's time to live it out.